In 1947, we and Japan were of similar per capita GDP. Today, Japan is a developed nation. In 1960, we and South Korea were of similar per capita GDP. Today, Korea is virtually a developed country. If earlier 90% batch of IITs and IIMs were going abroad, today probably 90% is staying back in India. We are a poor country, but we are still the lowest per capita carbon emitter in the world.
Women professionals do very well. Women are earning money, but अभी भी father, brother, husband से पूछते कहाँ invest करो.
One point of time, Mumbai, Marwadi, Gujarati equal to stockbroker. Today, two of the largest broking company of India are not based in Mumbai and are not run by Gujaratis and Marwadis.
Maybe we should now improve things in such a way that Bhishma Pitama and Dronacharya finally fight on the side of Pandavas and not technically on the side of Kauravas.
Indians in the world have maximum number of people who are willing to help others. Combination of this talent, capital and infrastructure is creating the growth story. We will become VISHWA GURU by creating an alternate model of development.
As I keep telling, this podcast is about first principles of finance. We do not discuss day-to-day market here. We discuss basic investment principles which stand the test of time. It is a pleasure. Thank you for accommodating me. Thank you for being at our office. And I'm sure the viewers are going to have a lot of investment wisdom today based on this podcast.
We'll try our best.
Thank you. So let me first formally introduce Nilesh Bhai. And let me, give that cliched line. He is somebody who doesn't need a formal introduction, yet it is my job to introduce him. So, Nilesh Bhai is currently the Group President and MD of Kotak Mahindra Asset Management Company. The unique thing about Nilesh Bhai is that whichever mutual fund company he's headed in the past and currently, he's always got the Best Mutual Fund of the Year award. I don't know how you do that, but there is some secret sauce there to share with us. So he's got the Best Mutual Fund of the Year award currently while he's in Kotak. He's got it in his prior experience with ICICI Prudential when he was heading Franklin. At that time also he got the Best Mutual Fund of the Year award. Nilesh Bhai is also a part-time member of the Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister. So here I am getting to interview somebody who's got the Prime Minister's ears. Okay, he's also a part-time member of UIDAI, Unique Identification Development Authority of India, the organization that also governs Aadhaar. And you are also a board member of AMFI, Association of Mutual Fund of India. Welcome again, Nilesh Bhai, and it would be a real pleasure and honor to have you on my podcast.
Thank you, Nirav Bhai, for having me here.
Pleasure. Nilesh Bhai, as I keep saying, I'll again repeat, this is based on first principles. So imagine a teenager or Gen Z listening to the podcast 6 months down the line or a few years down the line. Even then, this podcast, we are trying to design the podcast in such a way that this is always, it is ephemeral. It is not ephemeral, it is everlasting. कि हम principles सिखा रहे हैं आपकी style में. I know your style.
Yes.
I've been an avid listener to you all along, and I've always gained a lot of knowledge from you.
The principles remains the same.
Yes.
Whether they were 100 years back today or 100 years down the line.
Yes. Done. So investing with the masters. Let's start investing with Mr. Nilesh Bhai. Nilesh Bhai, let me ask you the first question. Can you paint a picture of the world economy today? Where the world stands? How are the different economies in the world doing? And in relation to that, how is India positioned?
So if we look at world, there is no homogeneousness over there.
Yeah.
A lot of countries have chosen different path.
Right.
For example, most Western world chose the path of incurring debt to create growth.
Okay.
Countries like US, Canada, UK, Spain, they are borrowing more and more money to create less and less of a GDP.
Okay.
In some sense, their parents are mortgaging their kids' future so that their present can be good.
Oh dear, that's a very big statement.
On the other hand, there are countries like Japan where population is degrowing. Their challenge will be totally different. There are countries where population is exploding. Their challenge will be totally different. So we are seeing a world which is containing different paths. Some are giving preference to the presence, some are working towards the future. But 2024 calendar year, we will see slower growth compared to 2023. There are 40 countries which are going for election in CY24, including US, including India. And it will be interesting to see on what planks, what agenda elections are fought.
Oh, that's a very interesting scenario. Okay. Now, where is India positioned in this world?
So if we look at India, we were perennial underperformer. In 1947, we and Japan were of similar per capita GDP.
Okay.
Today, Japan is a developed nation. In 1960, we and South Korea were of similar GDP, per capita GDP. Both of us had witnessed very, very harsh colonization. Both of us witnessed partition. And both of us got independence on the same day, 15th of August, albeit a year apart.
Okay.
Today, Korea is virtually a developed country.
Right.
In 1980, India and China were of similar size in per capita and GDP. Today, they are 6 times bigger than us. So, we have grown from 1947 levels, but others have jumped over us.
Yeah, Japan, South Korea and China.
And China and all others, frankly speaking.
Okay.
Even a neighbor like Sri Lanka has doubled the per capita GDP of India for a long period of time. Now, where did we miss out? I think, without sounding political, we missed out because talent of India was always going abroad for better opportunity.
Okay.
From 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, our best engineers, best managers were going abroad for opportunity. And which is why today we are seeing that all those smart people are running Fortune 500 companies at very, very senior positions. Second, there was inadequacy of capital. If your parents didn't give you money, you could not have started your business.
Right.
There was no availability of capital from market or from banks and so on and so forth. In fact, if I remember very correctly, there was a movie, a Hindi film movie where Mahmood was one of the actors.
Okay.
And the dialogue famous there was Gathia Khai Bhai Gathia. He was playing a Gujarati character.
Okay.
And the hero applies for a loan and he doesn't get it. And then bank is nationalized and bank gives the loan. So the premises of bank nationalization was to provide capital to the lower end of the society.
Right.
And third, we had infrastructure deficit. Our ports were clogged, roads were not there, railway was not having enough capacity, there were power cuts all over. And on top of it, we followed our policies which created Chakravyu for our entrepreneurs. They were fighting internal battles. They had no chance of fighting outside battle. License Permit Raj, Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act, all kinds of compliance burden.
Yes.
Net from 1947 till 1990, India didn't grow as fast as it should have. The real disaster was that we were on the verge of bankruptcy in 91. We had to pledge gold to borrow money in foreign exchange loan.
Yes.
The first liberalization started under Narasimha Rao government under the leadership of Prime Minister Narasimha Rao and Finance Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. Some people argue that this was a forced liberalization because we had no option. Our back was to the wall. Be the case as it may be, but they brought liberalization in India, removed license permit Raj, opened up controller of capital issue, started attracting foreign direct investment. The acceleration started from 2014.
Okay.
Today, when we look, Indian talent, instead of going abroad, is staying back in India. If earlier 90% batch of IITs and IIMs were going abroad, today probably 90% is staying back in India. Second, if your parents have no money, no problem. If you have business idea, there is a vibrant private equity venture capital ecosystem which will give you money. By one point of time, Mumbai, Marwadi, Gujarati equal to stockbroking. Today, two of the largest broking company of India are not based in Mumbai and are not run by Gujaratis and Marwadis. They are based in Bangalore.
Okay.
Third, there is infrastructure availability. We are not nearer the Western standard, but from where we were, we have improved a lot. The infrastructure which was existing in 2013 is almost going to double by 2024.
1947 to 2013,
I'm
whatever
saying
infra
not
he
even
built.
1947, before 2013. So if Grand Trunk Road was built in medieval time, or if railway was built by Britishers in 1850s, from there till 2013,
Whatever
what was
we
built, it's almost going to get doubled.
Wonderful.
Power capacity, road network, port capacity, telecom, broadbands, rail electrification, airports, metro. In everything, we are doubling almost. We will have lesser number of diesel train than America, which preaches us about carbon emission.
Yes.
We will have more metro network than America. So, combination of this talent, capital and infrastructure is creating the growth story for India.
Political will.
Now, there is undoubtedly political leadership which is making this happen. But we also need to be cognizant that our chakra view has loosened, but it has not been eliminated.
Okay.
And I always focus on this example. There is a company in Mumbai, Maharashtra. They make a product which is exported to 50 plus countries worldwide. That product helps people save money and it benefits environment. But that product can't be sold in India.
Okay.
Why a product which is accepted in 50 countries worldwide, which is helping environment and consumer, not sold in India? It's a very strange case.
Because of some regulatory issues, some policies.
So this was about those films which we used to put on our car windows.
Yeah.
Those films used to stop sun rays coming into the car.
Yeah.
It reduced burden on cars' air conditioner, and in a hot country like India, that is needed.
Yeah.
And it helps improve fuel efficiency.
True.
One day in the parking lot of Delhi, in an unlit parking lot of Delhi, some unfortunate incident occurred. A kind soul somewhere in eastern India woke up based on that incident, filed a PIL in the court of law.
Oh dear.
And the court, based on a Motor Vehicle Act drafted by British colonial masters, interpreted the law that you can't affix anything on the car window.
Oh God.
The whole country's police force was devoted to removing those films. It didn't matter whether they were transparent films, but all films were removed. Today, India pays 10,000 crore more in additional fuel because those films are not stopping sun rays coming into the car.
Understood.
The AC burden increases, fuel goes up. How many industries lost job which were making those films? How many mechanics lost job which were affixing those films? How much loss was incurred by consumers because they had paid 30,000-40,000 rupees to affix those films with a view to recover money over a period of time.
And all this because of one PIL.
One PIL, and PIL is not wrong, but the law which says that you can't affix anything on a car window need to be changed.
Yeah.
Today you can have dark glasses, but not transparent film. Today you can put curtains on your car window, dark curtains, but not transparent film. Now, what makes sense?
Yeah.
And did that unfortunate incident stop?
No.
Answer is no, it's actually getting multiplied.
Yeah.
So, we need to ensure that our entrepreneurs only fight Kauravs, because there are 100 Kauravs. China dumping, raw material volatility, market prices movement, labor challenges, technological disruption. Our entrepreneurs are fighting with 100 Kauravs. Why should we make them fight with 5 Pandavas also, which is regulator, compliance, law, and so on and so forth? We have to support our Abhimanyu who is in the Chakravyu so that he can defeat Kauravas.
Yes.
I think we have now talent, infrastructure, capital, and the political will. We just need to put in place this
Proper regulation.
ease of doing business.
And maybe we should.
We are improving,
Yeah.
but there is still room to go further.
And maybe we should now improve things in such a way that Bhishma, Pitama and Dronacharya finally fight on the side of Pandavas and not on the, I mean, analogous, they might be equal to government, let them be on the side of Pandavas where their heart was and not technically on the side of Kauravas.
Absolutely.
Okay. Nilesh bhai, you have the year of the Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council. What is the thinking of the current regime? Where do they want to take India? Paint a picture where they want to see India in the next 5-10 years.
So essentially, if we look at not only from the angle of EACPM, because that's a very, very narrow angle.
Okay.
But if you look at the work they have done, I think their ultimate aim is a VIKSIT Bharat by 2047.
Okay.
They want an India where everyone not only has access to basic necessities like roti, kapda, makan, but also comforts like education, healthcare, and also luxuries like travel, tourism, entertainment, and so on and so forth. While achieving this for every Indian, they don't want to destroy environment like what China and Western world has done. Today, Scandinavian countries tell us about protecting environment, but they themselves have destroyed and even today are destroying through highest per capita carbon emission.
Yes.
We are a poor country, but we are still the lowest per capita carbon emitter in the world.
Yeah.
So they want to protect environment. They want to create growth, inclusive growth for every Indian, and truly create a VIKSIT Bharat in our centenary year.
Okay. Okay. So we were, in the days of the year, we were known as Sone ki Chidiya. You see that happening sometimes in our lifetime? I know it is a little bit abstract term, but you're saying developed nation. Viksit Bharat means 2047, we want to see ourselves as a developed nation.
So we will undoubtedly become Sone ki Chidiya, but not in the definition of Western world.
Yeah.
I saw one tweet by Mr. Harsh Goenka where he says that Indians in the world have maximum number of people who are willing to help others. This was some survey done I just saw while coming here. And I find it not surprising. If you go to any corner of India, you will always find someone to help you. The Western world needs Google Map. In India, without Google Map, we used to reach our destination thanks to the people of India.
Yes.
Second, we will become VISHWA GURU by creating an alternate model of development. If you look at some of the countries, they have grown through slavery and colonization.
Right.
If you today visit United Kingdom, 90% of things is what is looted from our side. If you go to their museums and tower, you just find things which they have taken out from colonies.
Yes.
Then there are neo-colonists. For example, there are countries which encouraged flight of capital from emerging market by providing safe haven for their black money,
Yes.
the numbered accounts everyone knows. They were never called global terrorists. Even though the damage caused by them
Is more.
on emerging market was far more than what a 9/11 would have cost.
Yes.
Then there are dictatorship where individual freedoms were suppressed to create faster growth. I think we have to be a model where in democracy, through inclusive growth, with no damage or minimal damage to the environment, we can create a growth model. That will be true Vishwa Guru of Bharat.
And our philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
Absolutely.
The whole world is my family. If we grow, if India grows, India takes the world together and not at the cost of each other. If I grow and
I mean, you look at our yoga. That's what is originated in India, nurtured in India. We have given it free to everyone. We don't want any patent.
Yeah.
The entire computational is on 0 and 1.
Yeah.
Who gave 0 to the world?
Yes.
India.
Yes.
We didn't put a patent on it or copyright on it.
Yes.
In fact, we are seeing reverse way where someone registers Haldiwala milk and says that this is my copyright.
Okay. So India is also to learn to put a fight when we are wronged. But it's not in our nature.
There is this story about Bhagwan Mahavir Swami telling, I think, Chandkaushik Nag, that at least if you don't have to bite.
Okay.
Because when he was biting everyone, his poison was creating havoc. And Mahavir Swami told him that you don't have to bite. Don't be so aggressive and violent. So he moved in other direction. And the kids were throwing stone on him because he refused to bite.
Right.
So then the message was that don't become so meek that people throw stone at you.
Okay.
Once in a while, give a hiss so that everyone is under control.
That's a wonderful example.
So we have to follow Bhagwan Mahavir's philosophy. Don't bite unnecessarily, but at the same time, don't become so meek that anyone will come and throw stone at us.
Understood. That's a wonderful example. Thank you for sharing that. And our philosophies have many such stories and parables and anecdotes which we can use, which can be a guiding philosophy for us.
Undoubtedly, if we read our scriptures, Vedas, it has many things which hopefully we will probably discover over a period of time. Now, it doesn't mean that we blindly follow what's there. Our culture has evolved through debate, through open mind.
Yes.
So we need to debate, we need to keep open mind, but at the same time, we need to remain in our roots and yet accept everything good from all others.
Yes.
As Mahatma Gandhi said, we should be open to everyone's idea. But as someone else said, suniye sabki, kariye man ki.
Yes. Okay. Now, so you painted a very positive picture for India in today's world. We want to become a Vishwa Guru. We've got that kind of political leadership, with that kind of spiritual. Not only will be probably becoming a spiritual leader to the world, but also an economic leader. So if I'm an investor, if I'm an Indian, either situated in India or anywhere in the world, and Nilesh bhai, I believe I serve NRI clientele in 17 countries, and I believe they do not look at India the way we look at it. Maybe imagine an NRI who's left India 10, 15, 20 years back. Uske mind mein tab ke India ka picture hai. And he doesn't realize how India has changed and going to change unless they keep visiting here. How does an Indian, either resident or NRI, position himself investment-wise to take advantage of this growth story?
So one, Nirav bhai, as an investor, you have to invest where you will make money.
Yeah.
Because you are Indian, should you invest in India? Answer is no.
Right.
You invest in India because India will give you better return.
Right.
Now, how do people make return? Typically, growth will deliver return. If a company X grows at 30% per annum compounded and other company D grows, chances of first company giving good returns are very high.
Yeah.
The second is governance. There might be a fraud company like Bernie Madoff, which is showing great return, great performance, but there's no governance and eventually the bubble will bust. And third will be green. The world is witnessing an amazing amount of destruction on global environment. And we'll all have to get up, otherwise this planet will not exist in current shape. Now, look around. Where do you find a country where growth, governance and green, those three G's are available?
Growth, governance and green.
Green.
Okay. You cannot damage the environment and prosper.
Absolutely. The sustenance of growth is linked invariably with the green transformation.
So are you alluding to ESG style of investing?
ESG in Indian context.
Okay.
In the city of Nagpur, when Tata set up Empress Mill, their first textile mill, they had a crash facility for their women workers. There was no ESG then. This was Tata standard of governance.
Right.
So I don't want to hear lecture on ESG from Western world.
Yes.
I'll prefer Tata standard of governance.
Yes.
When in Jamshedpur during Second World War, I think their workers were not paid salaries. The house of Tatas pledged jewelry of their women and put money into Tata Steel to pay salaries to the worker.
Wow.
I mean, there was no
we don't need that is built into our system. We don't need to,
Absolutely.
And we don't need to do it for the sake of doing it.
Absolutely.
It is inbuilt in our nature.
So for me, ESG is like Tata culture. We'll follow that. We'll learn from how other people are doing ESG undoubtedly.
Right.
But we don't have to do ESG because Western world is teaching us. We have to do it because it makes sense to us.
And take care of all the stakeholders in the society, not only one.
And Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam applies as much to external world as to internal world.
Right. Nilesh bhai, please, what is the Kotak investment philosophy? What is unique about Kotak? You've been heading it since a while now, and I believe the head shapes the entire organization. So you shaped Kotak in a particular way.
So the good thing for me was that I had predecessors who had already formulated the policies, and I just had to carry forward that legacy.
Okay.
Harsha had joined well before me. Lakshmi was there well before me. Gaurang was heading the investment committee well before me. And all of us had the same mindset. One thing in 2000 when I was managing money and we lost money on telecom media technology bubble, an investor told me कि नीलेश भाई वो गलती तो मत करिए जो मैं खुद कर सकता हूँ. When I give money to you, you have to make errors which I am incapable of making. So we said we will always invest in good businesses, real businesses. By and large, we have achieved that. Have we made errors? Undoubtedly, yes. We did lose money on debt side in ILFS. I think it was greed rather than error of judgment. We always thought that ILFS will be bailed out by their promoters. Many of them were government companies. But that bet went wrong. So bearing that kind of exception, by and large, we have always invested in real businesses.
So can you define good business?
One, the business should exist on ground, not on paper. Second, it should earn more return on equity than cost of capital.
So maybe around more than 12, 14, 15,
See,
whatever the cost
of capital for different businesses.
Yeah.
So you have to earn depending upon the risk you are taking. The second portion is that even if you get Mercedes car, you need a good driver to run it. If you give Anadi driver Mercedes, he will bang it. So management is critical. A management which has vision to achieve something. Typically people between 40 and 50 years of age are perfect for that kind of growth. By 40 they have got some experience, but there is fire in the belly. And beyond 50 probably they start slowing down a bit. So 40 to 50 years of age, but obviously it's a psychological age, not the physical age.
Yeah.
But people who have vision to do something. Second, they have to execute on ground. I can daydream
Yeah.
that I want to be a better cricketer than Virat Kohli,
Yeah.
but I have to execute it on ground.
Yeah.
And third, the governance matter. There are many wonderful entrepreneurs who have great vision, who execute it. But when it comes to sharing rewards with shareholders, they take everything home. They don't leave anything on table for us. So for us, vision, execution and governance matters.
Vision, execution, and governance. The promoter of the company should also be willing
Absolutely.
to share the fruits of the business, the profits with the shareholder. ऐसा नहीं कि पूरा profit मेरा है. Okay.
And finally, you have to pay a fair price.
Right.
I'll be very lucky if I get a discounted price.
Right.
But every time I can't assume that सामने वाला उल्लू है मेरे को सस्ते में दे के जाएगा.
जी.
सामने वाला also is a smart person.
Yeah.
So we want to pay a fair price. Between this business, management and valuation, if we go right, I think we'll build portfolio which will outperform over a period of time.
So Nilesh bhai, in Kotak, how big is your team, right? Right from the fund managers, analysts, right from you to down to all the way to the
So
analysts.
if I look at investment team, broadly it's divided in 4 parts. The debt team, the equity team, the alternate team which includes PMS and AIF,
Okay.
and the offshore team.
Okay.
We have presence locally as well as abroad. And collectively we will be about 35 to 40 people, traders, dealers, fund managers, analysts, and ESG specialists.
Okay.
Now, this has worked well in the past, but the future will be different. Future will be a lot driven by data analytics and quantitatives.
Okay.
So we are recruiting talent over there.
Okay.
So we are becoming ready for the future where human intelligence and machine both can coexist.
Can you throw more light on that? That's interesting. Please.
So suppose if you are on a bridge and you have radar to figure out which cars are running at a faster pace. Chances are that the car which has already picked up momentum is likely to cross the hurdle or exit at a faster pace. But within that, you need human intelligence to figure out which car has a good make to cross it and which car is driven so rashly that while it is in the speed right now, it may cause an accident. So we are using quantitatives and data analytics to pick up various aspects like momentum, quality, low volatility, and so on and so forth. But then applying human intelligence to fix our boundaries.
Okay.
There are certain stocks which might be running very well, but we don't want to go there.
Yeah.
For example, there is a PSU bank which trades at 2 times valuation of a leading private sector bank, which has created wealth for shareholders over the last 3 decades.
Yeah.
Now, does that public sector bank have
deserve
ratios which requires or which should command 2 times valuation? I think answer is no. But then why is market giving it? It's giving it because only 3% of the floating stock is there in the market,
Okay.
of which 2% will be with their customers and government controlled institutions which are not selling. With 1% float, a tail can wag the dog. But is that the price on which you want to rely upon?
Okay.
So you need human intelligence to let go this kind of opportunities. In the near term, you look stupid because that stock has done very well. It's up 2-3 times. But I think over a period of time, you will be proven right.
Okay. Nilesh bhai, this reminds me of a technical term used by economists known as a dirty float. So RBI follows something known as a dirty float. The Indian INR is not completely free, nor is it controlled. They practice something known as a dirty float, whatever little economics I know.
So the economist and economics have no relationship.
Yeah.
It's a political magazine
Yeah.
created by colonial mindset. The RBI does not manage the direction of the rupee. They always manage the volatility of the rupee.
Right.
And as a prudent central bank, they are always counter-cyclical. When a lot of money is rushing in, They don't allow rupee to appreciate unnecessarily, but
Right.
they build the reserves. When suddenly people attack your currency and rupee starts depreciating, they don't allow it to go unnecessarily down, but they intervene to provide
Yes.
support.
Yes.
We don't want the George Soros kind of hedge fund manager coming
And
and
playing havoc
ransacking
with
our
our
currency
system.
like they did
This is
with
the time we have to
GDP,
hiss.
like they did it in 2008 in 1997 Asian currency crisis. RBI has done a wonderful job in managing rupee in a very, very good manner. In fact, the Economist should be publishing an article advising other central bankers to follow RBI's model so that speculators don't make money and businesses and countries don't become hostile to those kind of speculators.
Right.
They are doing exactly opposite of what they should be doing. But this is no surprising. There are so many people who are either paid by our competitors or who are jealous and envy of our progress, and they always find out something wrong in our things. Today I was reading an article on Ayurveda, and they are blaming Ayurveda. Well, you never talk about problems what your vaccine has created, but you have problem with our Ayurveda, and that also when haldi wala doodh ka tumko patent chahiye. So we have to, take criticisms in a constructive manner. If we are doing wrong and someone is pointing out, be my guest, thank you for your advice, and we will take corrective action.
Right.
But if you are criticizing for the sake
Sake
of
of
it,
criticism.
तो अपने गिरेमान में जाको
बराबर.
आप एक उंगली जब हमारी तरफ रखते हो तो चार उंगली आपकी तरफ होती है.
Right. Okay. I just met an investor who said, I want to create a portfolio of 100 crores in 10 years. How should I go about? Is mutual fund a right tool for this? And what would be your advice on that?
So if you see today, effectively there are direct equities,
Yeah.
mutual funds,
Yeah.
PMS, AIF,
Yeah.
venture capital and private equity funds. Now many people feel that I can brag about PMS, AIF, PE, VC.
Yeah.
Mutual fund तो मेरा ड्राइवर भी करता है.
Hmm.
Now I find it very, very strange because if I have a vehicle, a local train in which you can stand, your driver can stand and your maid can stand, but it helps you reach your destination.
On time.
What is important? You want to go in a vehicle where you will be sitting comfortably in AC, but you will spend 2 hours in the traffic,
Yeah.
pollute the environment?
Yeah.
Or would you mind traveling in an AC local train with your driver and maid together?
Yeah.
Your status symbol will go down saying that a billionaire is going in a local
And
train.
recently there was a news, a billionaire
Yeah.
traveling in our local train.
Niranjan Hiranandani traveled.
Yes.
The finance minister traveled.
Okay.
So I think you should focus upon whether you are reaching destination or not. The vehicle chosen is depending upon what is convenient at that point of time. Sometimes train is convenient, sometimes car is convenient. But don't ignore the train simply because it allows
Others are
your
using
maid and driver also to travel along with you.
Okay, wonderful. So you believe a mutual fund itself is a very capable tool. And I always say I have 45 people, great people like you to bet my money on. You're not wedded to a particular style. There are different investing styles.
Absolutely.
Nilesh bhai, what I like is now hedge fund managers, quant guys are also turning into mutual fund person.
Yes.
People who have been around the world managing money internationally, bringing money into India, are finding value and merit in mutual funds. And they believe mutual fund is a vehicle to approach the...
It's the most transparent vehicle. It is balancing the need of customer, manufacturer and distributor.
Right.
There are some options which are very, very cheaper compared to mutual fund like National Pension Scheme. But it's loaded in favor of investor and against the manufacturer and distributor, which is why it requires high tax incentive. On the other hand, there is insurance which is loaded in favor of distributor and manufacturer, but then customers is taken for a ride. We are the only vehicle where a poor man and a rich person can invest together. There is highest level of transparency and it creates win-win situation for manufacturer, distributor and investor. No one is taken for a ride. No one cross-subsidizes each other.
Right. Okay, great. And I mean, see, I wouldn't imagine to get the latest portfolio in an insurance vehicle. I wouldn't imagine approaching. So right now, I have the honor of interviewing you for my podcast, and I don't think I would have that kind of access in any other vehicle.
Forget excess. Do you even know what are the terms and charges?
No.
In mutual fund, whatever we charge is written upfront in the offer document, explained every month in the fact sheet, part of your account statement as well as comprehensive account statement, CAS, which is given. In insurance, some charges are levied by deducting your units. Their NAV will go from 10 to 12,
that's a
but
big
the units will
revelation.
go from 100 to
In
90.
mutual fund, nobody will touch your unit. Only when
we
you
don't
redeem.
touch your unit.
Not a single unit
Absolutely.
ever in the lifetime. That's a very big revelation. I just came to know in one of my earlier podcasts.
Yes.
That they tend to take out your units. यानी ये
Yes.
हो गया आपके घर में आके गोडाउन से माल लेके चलेंगे.
Yeah.
ये तो वैसा हो गया ना.
Precisely. I think we are the best. Eventually, people will understand.
And I believe the best investing brains in the country right now are deployed. In fact, I will rate Nilesh by some of our fund managers best in the world.
So one, talent is available everywhere. So I have no disrespect to insurance CIOs. I think they are as smart, as good as we are. In PMSAF, some brilliant minds are there, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I think as Indians, we have really created quality investors. Yes, we did make mistakes earlier, but now we have learned from it. And talent is universal, it's available everywhere.
Yeah.
But the structures many a time ensure that that talent is not able to add as much value as it should have.
Okay. Okay. So Nilesh bhai, so one question I had was, let's say hypothetically there are these 4 investors I'll paint a picture about, and do you think they should also be looking at Indian mutual funds? So Dubai Sheikh, European investor who's inherited a lot of wealth, an American startup guy from the Silicon Valley, and an Indian family office.
So one, they all should invest in India because we give growth, governance and green. But for Dubai Sheikh, a large part of their wealth is coming related to oil.
Yeah.
And in our Kundli, Rahu and Ketu is oil.
Yeah.
Oil goes higher, the United Arab Emirates and Dubai benefits, India loses.
Yeah.
So for him, it's a perfect hedge to manage his oil fortune
by
going long India, which will benefit if oil prices go
down.
down.
So for a Dubai Sheikh, it makes asset allocation sense also.
Absolutely.
It counters his India के लिए oil दुश्मन है, उसके लिए oil friend है.
Absolutely.
अच्छा.
Second, for the American entrepreneur in Silicon Valley, well, you are used to working with Indians because a lot of Indians are there and who have done a great job. You understand our culture pretty well. You know our strengths and weaknesses. And you will always be able to pick up a phone and talk to your friends within Silicon Valley to get an opinion about India or Indian entrepreneur.
Okay.
That familiarity itself should push you to invest in India. For a European connoisseur, well, you have no option but to invest in India.
Because this is where the growth is.
Europe is aging.
Yeah.
It's not as innovative. And as some European family office had mentioned to me, that Nilesh bhai, your kids are learning maths and science. My kids are learning arts and literature.
Yeah.
I better invest over here. For Indian family offices, well, the world is your oyster. But where will you find comfort and confidence on green growth and governance? So do invest outside, but keep a watch in India.
Okay.
Finally, spiritually, I will say, whether you believe in the theory of rebirth and reincarnation or not, but if it is true, then there are very good chances that in your next life you will be born in India. Other countries, they don't produce as many kids.
Yeah.
We contribute maximum. So there are very bright chances of you getting born in India. You might as well invest today so that India's infrastructure and economy develops, so that when you come here next life,
Yeah.
you are living a better life.
Okay.
So जिंदगी के लिए रिटर्न के लिए यहाँ इन्वेस्ट करो, जिंदगी के बाद के लिए भी यहाँ इन्वेस्ट करो.
Okay. Indian equity versus Chinese equity. In one of your latest seminars, you talked how Chinese is equity is they are out of favor. So they're very cheap compared to India, which is at a premium.
So Chinese equities valuation is 1/3 of India, and it's entirely attributable to their governance. If China decides that they will not do anything on Taiwan, and they will not harass their entrepreneurs, and they will respect global capital, then Chinese equity. But if they don't commit on these three things, neither the governance nor Taiwan, nor
Harassing the
giving
entrepreneurs.
their entrepreneurship free ride, then Indian equity.
Okay. Mutual fund versus structured product. You partly alluded
Always
to it.
mutual fund.
Any day. What portion of your net worth is in mutual fund and in your own Kotak mutual fund?
So I have some historical holdings in some mutual funds. Other than that, incremental basis, the day I joined Kotak, I have always put my money in Kotak mutual fund.
All of it.
So we were the first asset management company in India where we took a call voluntarily,
right,
that we will invest our money in our funds.
Okay.
Neither my sponsor nor my trustees nor my board of directors did that, but employees of Kotak Mutual Fund took that call.
Okay.
It worked for a while. Finally, we relaxed it as our brand and everything was established. So I firmly believe that head of the restaurant should eat
in the same restaurant.
what he cooks.
So then you ensure that the kitchen is clean and...
Absolutely. When I was working in iPro, all my monies went into iPro. Of course, I had some historical investment from Templeton. When I worked in Templeton, I put all my money in Templeton.
Okay, wonderful. Concentrated versus diversified portfolio.
Depending upon your risk appetite.
Yeah.
If you are willing to take risk, go concentrated.
Right.
If you are not risk taker, average investor, go for diversified.
Okay. Time for turntable, Nilesh bhai.
So one, Nirav bhai, if you look at customers, it's not about return, it's all about managing their risk appetite.
Yeah.
It's more psychology than performance.
Yes.
How do you handle that?
So, Nilesh bhai, I always keep saying, I make this joke, I am not a financial planner or a MFI registered MFD, I am a psychologist. मेरा काम है psychology manage करना. What portfolio should I give to my client based on the risk profile is a piece of cake. 15 years in this practice.
You know it.
People like you and me, it is second nature to you. And I have one very good suggestion that risk profiling, we should not follow the Western concept. We should bring risk profiling in practice. We should regulate it. But just because in a good time, if I ask an investor market 30% down किया तो क्या करोगे? And in theory, he says कि मैं double up करूँगा और जब 5% down जाता है, he becomes a different animal. So I have not to judge him based on what he says, but based on his behavior, which comes after dealing with him over a couple of years. This is my learning. अब इसको how do you put in pen and paper?
Absolutely.
So sitting in this chair, managing money for 1100 families, and as I keep saying, I don't have to read the pink papers to understand where the economy is going. मेरे 1100 families, they are in different profession, pan India, across the world. I know what economy is doing, if they are doing good in business. And to each his own, every investor brings a different set on the table. So you grow, you learn every time. Imagine I lost one or two, I don't lose clients that often. I bring sticky money to the manufacturer. Average holding, I don't think I've done any redemption in Kotak thus far. Since the time we've invested. Okay, so I believe a fund manager appreciates a sticky money.
Absolutely.
But what I have noticed that if you do not pick up 2 calls, and if you're not available for a particular meeting, and even if you give a 24% CAGR, the client gets angry with you. So that is a learning for me. So these are the softer aspects of the trade that you have to understand. That comes with experience.
But one more thing, today we are seeing that in many cases, women are not involved
Yes.
in financial
Yes.
matter as much as they should.
Yes.
There are taboos in certain families about involving even their kids,
Yes.
especially if they are daughters.
Yes.
Are you seeing a change?
I
And
am
how
seeing
are
a
you
change. Yeah.
making it happen?
Yes. So one of my pet project is financial literacy for women. Every Women's Day, including the current Women's Day, which is coming, I get called to give a lecture. But I'm not restricting to that. I have a rule in my office. Whenever the male member of the family is coming for a portfolio review, I request to bring either their spouse or their daughter along with them. In fact, I should share two very good examples. That a client he was my client since 15 years. Okay, and he would bring his daughter who was doing chartered accountancy with him.
Right.
Okay, and she would listen. I never pitched to her because she was a student. The day she got her first job, she called me, started an SIP. Today, Nilesh bhai, she's richer than dad.
Wow.
Dad had a problem in the business. She funded him,
Wow.
and she works in Dubai, and she's done a phenomenal job managing. In fact, she says कि if I have to have a for particular expenditure, मैं इतनी SIP करती हूँ कि मेरे पास में वो spare money नहीं रहता है. We made crores for her.
Wow.
So that gives you motivation, okay. And as they say in Indian Shastras, that if you teach a woman, you teach two houses, not one.
Yes.
One thing I'm still noticing that women professionals do very well. Women are earning money, but abhi bhi father, brother, husband से पूछते कहाँ invest करूँ.
Yeah.
My personal agenda is to change that.
The succession is also important.
Yes.
And we are seeing a lot of people who not necessarily want to work
Beyond a
as
point.
long as, let's say, our generation used or wanted to work. Are you seeing trends
Yes.
where succession planning really becomes critical?
Yes.
And people start taking their financial independence or financial security in a way which allows them to do other things in life?
So it is happening very slowly and steadily. एक problem ये है कि if you currently doing well in your business or profession, you don't think about retirement even now. Retirement planning and succession planning is still not top of the mind. Child education planning, yes. Planning for buying a house, yes. Succession planning और one day मुझे last दिन तक गद्दी पे नहीं बैठना है. मेरे को जैसे I said, I just met a guy who wants to have a corpus of 100 crores. I like that idea. And he is a very well-to-do guy. But he said this 100 crore I want to live my life of luxury the way I want. I don't want to. So that is coming, but we have to make them more aware. Retirement planning and succession planning. Retirement is still a taboo in the society. अभी तो I am in 40s, I am in my 50s. अभी क्यों retirement का सोचूं? But retirement planning एक decade, 1.5, 2 decades पहले किया जाता है. आप कुआं तभी नहीं खोदते हो जब आपको प्यास लगी है. So I am seeing a change, and one thing I am seeing is that they don't want to rely on their children for financial needs. Many of my clients have told me that children are independent, I am independent, मैं उनसे पैसा नहीं लूँगा, and which is a good change. So that means they have to build a retirement corpus. But I think we as an industry, we as a distributor, we have to work more on that. That hammering is not happening. And I would appreciate if mutual fund industry comes out with a dedicated product. Only one negative about mutual fund, it is very easy to take out money. And
Yes.
you have to be a very disciplined investor, not to touch the corpus. जो retirement का corpus है, उसको retirement के अलावा touch नहीं करना. It requires lot of self discipline. जब भी problem आता है, कि सबसे पहले mutual fund का ही redemption का button दबता है, which is good that it is very liquid, but that is also a negative.
See, unfortunately, Nirav bhai, we are not a bullet train which will go from one destination to another. We are still a local train. We'll make many stops, allow people to go in and go out.
Yeah.
But if you give sufficient time, we'll ensure that you reach your destination.
Yes.
Not as fast as a bullet train, but certainly in a more comfort and much convenient way.
Yes.
You are working in Nagpur and surrounding areas. Of course, you serve 17 countries. But are you seeing that investor maturity has now arrived? They are moving from traditional assets like real estate,
Yeah.
black money,
Yeah.
gold,
Yeah.
into financial product.
Yes, I am seeing that change. I mean, 10 years back, 7 years, 8 years back, I couldn't have dared to tell an investor कि जमीन 8 साल से कोई appreciation नहीं हुआ उसको बेच के आप invest करो in products like mutual fund, right? But I'm seeing that change in trend now. People are listening to, at least they're open to listen to your advice. They're willing to come out of physical assets, especially if it is not doing well, and look at financial assets. It is happening slowly and steadily, but people are taking to it. I can divide my hometown Nagpur into west and east. The west is taken to it, the east is yet to come. The west is filled.
Why West and East
So
breakup?
west is more of professionals, east is
Okay.
more of business community,
Business
though
community.
traditional. And one trend I am seeing, all those who are converting their business from a cash to less cash business,
Right.
right? They are more willing to, because
They are
we
more.
take money
Absolutely.
in checks. So that trend is happening. People are willing to listen, and mutual fund, I believe now it is going to be a cure all for all the issues. People are realizing it. People were not willing to pay tax and invest. Now that trend is changing. It is slow, but it is a positive trend which is irreversible according to me.
And one final question on, are people, are clients willing to give back to the society?
Oh.
Are you seeing that?
Now that is one thing that I have not, sampled. So, but I think, in fact, Nilesh bhai, I have pioneered a concept: do an SIP for charity,
Oh,
right? So I don't speak a lot on that. I am having one SIP for only charity.
only for charity.
Only for charity. कि मुझे समझ लो a few lakh or a few crore देना है.
Yeah.
Let's say a few lakhs, okay? तो मेरे pocket से the amount that I am going to pay would be very little. That amount will compound over 10-15 years, and then I can write a big check.
Yes.
So via this podcast, I want to also कि you do a SIP for various goals: child education planning, retirement, living a luxury life. Also do an SIP for
Yes.
charity. It's a good concept.
That's a very good concept, because
Yes.
eventually all of us will have to contribute back to
To the society. If you are, so our Shastras say the one way of purification of wealth, whatever limited I know, is to donate a certain percentage. Okay, so if you donate, your wealth stays with you, then that Lakshmi remains Lakshmi and doesn't become a Lakshmi.
Yes. Lakshmi chanchal hai.
लक्ष्मी चंचल
But
है,
you
उसको
can
टिका के
only-
रखना है. तो आप अगर, if you are in a position where you are well to do, and if you help others in the society,
Yeah.
money always comes back to you. Good begets good.
Absolutely.
Wonderful, Nilesh bhai. It is a pleasure. I think a lot of wisdom has gone through in this episode, and people are going to greatly benefit from this. If you can change a few minds based on to be positive on India, on equity, on mutual fund, on charity, we have done our job.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Nilesh bhai. A pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah.